So I'll have to start my whole thing all over again and reintroduce the session. Can somebody confirm if they can actually hear me yet? So I'll start with hello, sab theek che, all good with you and your family. And please Diksha pehle ye confirm kar de if you can hear me. Hopefully you can. Unless, oh thank God. So I think there was something wrong with either Facebook decided to, or somebody else decided that it should not happen. So coming back to all the things that I wanted to do today. So today I'm going to be talking about four things. One, of course, is the brilliant brand new moon in Gemini, and the certain things that I want you to understand about this moon, because the impact of this new moon is going to kind of be there for a major part of June, and will have an impact on the later months as well. So a lot of decisions you make now, a lot of choices you make now, is part of the understanding of how, because we're coming into the months of, we are in the months of a lot of feminine energy, which means a lot of non-physical or metaphysical or emotional energy, thought energy and emotion energy, that is very huge right now. And that is going to continue for another 3 months. So there is going to be one impact on the physical, there is another impact on the metaphysical. So that is one thing that I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to get into it right now. The second thing I wanted to share with you, which is a very interesting thing about the days in the week, and the days of creation. And I think we've got the day of rest wrong. It isn't meant to be Sunday, it was meant to be Saturday. Ding! Which is quite interesting. And so that is the second thing. The third thing I wanted to talk about, which a lot of people have been asking me questions off and on, and therefore maybe I'm guided and the angels guide me to more information on these particular lines, is about forgiveness. I had a beautiful insight on forgiveness the other day, which I think will make a sense to a lot of people, and possibly practicing forgiveness this way will be a newer experience, and B, I think it will be good for the world and our souls as well. My God, that sounded so wrong at so many different levels, but whatever. So coming back to what I was saying, so that is number 3 that I wanted to speak about. Number 4 is that today is the 22nd, which is, usually on days like 11, which is focus, 22nd is priority. So, and it's a new moon, and it's a Friday. So today, you should try as far as possible self. And when I say yourself, I mean you at 3 levels of being you: the subconscious you, the conscious you, and the superconscious you. So 3 levels of you need your focus. And actually I was trying to do that the whole day, and then something kept telling me I have to do an online, I have to do an online, I have to do an online. So I decided to do an FB live. Ding! I think that's how the energy works. So that is the third thing I wanted to tell you about. And so I'm going to start. And since everybody missed it in the first round, today for the first time I am going to do a tarot reading with Archangel Michael. He's been working with me for the whole of last week, because May is the month of Archangels, right? And May is the month of Mother Mary. So May is a very technically feminine month. So it's a huge month of emotions and everything. So these things are happening. So I'm going to do a tarot reading to close May and kind of give you an insight into a little bit of just this weekend, because this is a very, it is a very, what the moon would like me to say is, it's a very potent weekend because it's a new moon weekend. And the new moon is akin to the womb. So there are 2 aspects to the new moon. One is the darkness aspect of it, correct? And the other one is the fact that everything that grows in the dark. So the first thing I will start off with is the 6 days of creation. So so today is like the last Friday of Ramzan. So for all those who are fasting and all those who are this thing, don't forget, please मुझे दुआ में याद रखना. मैं जब भी दुआ करती हूँ सारी दुनिया को याद रखती हूँ, तो आज प्लीज़ मुझे भी कर लेना. Thank you very much. But today is the last Friday of Ramzan, and it is believed that it was a Friday that Adam was created. Now, corresponding that with the 6 days of creation in the book of Genesis, Genesis 1:26 speaks about the 6th day and the creation of man. Right? And therefore, if the belief, because see, Islam more or less follows the Jewish system into the Quran as dictated through the month of Ramzan to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, right? So there is a lot of connection between the two. So if Islam is practicing Friday as the 6th day of the week, and the day they believe that Adam was that God created, or Allah created Adam, right? So therefore Friday becomes the 6th day, right? Therefore, according to that, in accordance to that, and also in the Jewish practice, Saturday is the day of the Sabbath day. So Saturday is the day that is the connection between God and man, and people don't do anything except praise, worship, make that connection. There is, forgiveness and all of that happens on a Saturday. I'm sorry, I don't know so much about the Sabbath. However, it is also true that Saturday is the Sabbath, which makes it the 7th day, the day God rested from all of creation, right? So keeping that in mind, Sunday becomes the first day of the week. Sunday becomes the first day of the week and the first day of creation, and therefore Sunday is the day that we should all be celebrating. Let there be light. So that is the connection, and having studied Christianity and been a Christian for all, not a Christian, actually I'm a Catholic, I keep correcting myself. So as a Catholic, we look at Sunday as the Sabbath. We were taught that Sunday is the Sabbath. However, today I got corrected that there is in Catholicism and in Christianity, we do not celebrate the Sabbath day, right? And Sunday is the day that, for us, Sunday is the day of obligation. And that begins with the fact that Jesus rose on a Sunday. So his death and resurrection is how and why Sunday is the most important day of the week. It is a day when we must go to church, we must communion with other Christians. It is a time we get together and celebrate scripture, correct, and our relationship with scripture. So that was a very interesting thing. So Friday is the 6th day of creation. So for those who did know that, wonderful. And for those who did not know that, you now know. So Saturday is the 7th day. So in keeping with absolute value of creation, I think let us kind of figure out something that we can do every Saturday at home with ourselves, with our families, writing, I don't know what it is, but a way to honor creation. And the day you honor Mother Earth, you honor nature, you honor the things that man did not create. So you honor your heart. You honor something that is so beyond you. Like, you can spend an hour on a Saturday just honoring the fact that you're alive and breathing. I don't know. Each one needs to come up with their own way of doing that. So that is about the 6th day. And what excites me is that in the numerology system that I have been practicing for so long now, I celebrate Friday as the day of gratitude and 6, because I'm born on the 24th, so I have all kinds of reasons to celebrate the number 6 and the fact that I was born on a Friday, so it becomes a duplicate 6 6. And since I was born on the 24th, like I ruled a 24-hour day. Just joking. Okay, now so that was one part. Now the second thing that I wanted to share with you on forgiveness, which actually came up on a conversation yesterday on Twitter. It was very fascinating. So yesterday was one of the. It was a night of Qadr. So I asked one of my Twitter friends, I said, what? So he said, oh, we are all praying namaz right now and things like that. So I said, but what is so special about tonight? So he explained to me that it is the night of forgiveness. So I was like, night of forgiveness? So he says, yeah, tonight we ask Allah for forgiveness. So I was kind of, I couldn't get the connection, but however, since the month of Ramzan is about Prophet Muhammad receiving the content of the Quran from Archangel Gabriel, this was the day the Quran in a way was complete, correct? And Prophet Muhammad, and this is the understanding I got, I guess, from within me, and 3 people or 4 people have already confirmed that I'm absolutely right, so that is the reason why I'm that confidence to share it with all of you, is the fact that, so on this particular night, Prophet Muhammad offers whatever is written, or whatever he has written, as was dictated to him, in prayer, to find out for a sign from Allah that this was in alignment with what Allah wanted to be, what Allah wanted him to actually write. And therefore, if there was any correction or any changes if necessary, so Prophet Muhammad asks for forgiveness if at any given point in what he has written there is something that was actually that was not meant to be written, and at the same time praying for any correction that needed to be made. And that is when there is a sign from heaven. And since I don't know too many details, I'm not going to get into it, otherwise somebody is going to actually kind of kill me. But coming back to this, so the act of forgiveness is about him offering all that he had received from Gabriel for divine approval. And that was a very fascinating insight. And I was like, then are we practicing forgiveness? Or maybe that is why we all don't understand forgiveness, because we are under the impression, or we have been taught, or we have learned, or I don't know how we picked it up anyway. I've never understood where we picked it up from. But forgiveness was never meant to be something we give somebody else. So I cannot forgive you. I don't actually forgive you. I ask for, or I should ask for forgiveness for myself. It's not about me forgiving you. And maybe that is why the whole process of forgiveness takes much longer than we either care to understand or we understand. Because we make forgiveness about another person, right? Then we forgive them, and then we expect them to change. Do you see the paradox or the irony? Once I forgive somebody else, it is not about that person changing. It is about me changing. It is about my perspective changing. It is about my point of view changing. It just generally has nothing to do with the other person. So what happens is that most of the time we think we have forgiven A, or we make these big declarations that we have forgiven, and somehow these people end up making re-entries into our life and repeating what they did earlier. And we get as affected this time as we did the last time. Because while we forgave them, everything became about them. It stopped being about us. So, the point is, forgiveness therefore should be, and I think beautifully practiced by Prophet Muhammad himself, and strangely nobody has actually spoken much about it, but forgiveness is about having this beautiful conversation with God and forgiving yourself for having those certain emotions. Forgive yourself for having those expectations. It's never about another person. And the moment you shift, when your emotions about A person or B situation shifts, you can be in that situation again and not have the same emotional impact. Which will then bring you to another point, that forgiveness, since it is an emotion, right? It has everything to do about how you feel, and from that place of feeling, how you act out. So I think all of us need to take the rest of this month and kind of sit down and work on forgiveness. I tried to do it, and that's and so it was like, I was like, Father, forgive me for holding a grudge. So I was forgiving myself for holding the grudge. Not for the grudge itself, not for the content of the grudge, not for the intent of the grudge, not for the person I was holding the grudge for. I just asked for forgiveness for holding on to a grudge. And the plus point after that was, of course, I have a long way to go. I've just started myself on this particular process. But what happens is that you are releasing how you feel about grudges on the whole. Do you see the difference? So I am not trying to forgive a person for the grudge. I am just forgiving that entire emotion I understand to be the grudge I'm holding. Which was very, very interesting. Also, the other part is that the other thing I learned this week was talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean letting other people off the hook because they make you feel guilty or unhappy, or they make you feel responsible for their happiness. There's nothing about forgiving. People don't need to forgive you. So somebody tells you they're not going to forgive you, peace be with them, because they don't need to forgive you. The only person that needs to forgive you is you, and that is the most difficult thing to do, because most of the time we are led by other people's emotions. A lot of our actions have to do with, like I was talking to a few people about a lot of things that people are doing on the streets today. There are some things that are emotionally very, very draining. There are some things that make you look at the courage and say that, boss, I may never have been able to do it. But the point is that we are investing emotions in things we don't have control over. That happened with me last week because I suddenly went on a carbohydrate binge, not realizing that I was not doing it because I had to, because there was a certain sense of, like, oh, if we are in it together, we must do it together. That sense of this thing. I realized last week that I don't have an individual personality in a lot of things. But, however, I also realized that if I didn't stand up for myself in this situation, Um, Once the energy completely changes, I would have made a choice that will cost me a lot more than just carbohydrates. And by the way, I've got my friend obsessed with the word carbohydrates, so she's equally about carbohydrates. But neither of us have figured out anything more than it makes us bloaty, and it makes us very upset and angry because now that's how it is. Correct? So these are the two things. So forgiveness is interesting. Just shift your perspective, and I want you to share with me what happens, because each one of us is going to have a different journey. We all will not have the same journey. Mine, I realize, is I'm extremely feminine energy, so for me, I will be able to speak more about the intangible, and in the tangible, I'm shit scared of a cockroach. So that's two extremes of being me, and that is true. And I find, and because I work so much in the intangible, a lot of the tangible just shifts my energy in a way that makes me extremely uncomfortable, extremely angry, and it's not a mood swing. It is complete feminine shaken by masculine energy, and then she just does not know how to kind of hold herself together, and that's horrible. Because I physically break down when I mentally break down. That is like sometimes when my feminine goes out for a walk, na, my masculine is like, I can't handle this. Somebody cook khana for me and give me. That is that. Coming now to the new moon, right? So this new moon is in Gemini, and what is interesting about the fact that it is in Gemini, it is a moon of dual. It's a it's a duality moon. Now we all speak about Geminis being two-faced and da 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 da, and I don't know much about that, but I know a lot of people who are Geminis, and yeah, they keep flipping. But here's the thing about Geminis, or the Gemini moon. I will not say about Geminis because, again, making it about people, I'm starting to realize that talking to people and talking about people and making examples of people is a mistake because people are temporary. The emotions that they make you feel or the memories they leave back are the ones that stay and can sometimes be very, very, yeah, you get my point. So the thing about the Gemini moon, and very specifically because this is also the year, it's a 2020 year, which is like a more balanced year. So this duality is about us having to deal with, and this is for everybody. So it's not going to be just for people who are in the Gemini star sign or whatever. It is just for everybody. The fact that we are going to have to deal with both sides of who we are. So now you can see that from many different perspectives. There is a public personality, there's a home personality, there is one kind of person we are with family, there's one kind of person that we are professionally. There is one, a lot of us feel one thing and speak another language. So you are going to have to deal with both the tangible, so the tangible, which is the physical reality of your life, and the intangible, which is the spiritual or mental or metaphysical journey of your life. And to make it easier for you, I'm going to just divide this into two parts. You're going to have to deal with the masculine self and the feminine self, which is not going to be very easy because you're not used to doing it. Or for those who are used to doing it, you understand that you will at some point start working from your emotions, and some point you start working from the requirement of your person. So that's going to be very interesting. Also, the other thing that I actually discovered, and thanks to the Skyview app, is that if you actually use the Skyview app and look at the Skyview and you look at where the moon is in the center of the constellation. So I didn't know that earlier. So if I'm sounding completely dumb to somebody, I love you any which ways. So, but the moon is in the reason why it's called the Gemini moon, because the moon is in the middle of the constellation of Gemini in the sky. I think I discovered that when the full moon happened. So yeah, you can rediscover it tonight. So if you want to know, because you can't see where the moon is at 11:08, just get yourself the Skyview app, and in all likeliness, you're going to be able to know where she is, even if you can't see her. And to know where she is, all you need to figure out is where the Gemini constellation is above your head. So that is interesting. So this is already I told you. Now, yeah. And the other thing about the Gemini moon, which I need you to understand, is that um, the Gemini is going to play between two aspects. I'm talking now about planetary overall things that are going to happen. June is going to be a month of a lot of physical changes. Yeah. Physical changes in terms of lockdowns are going to open up, more spaces are going to open up. Suddenly, there are going to be more crowds of people, and also the fact is that there are going to be a lot of psychosomatic. I don't know if I use the right word, but the psychological impact of what happens when you're suddenly around too many people. So there are huge amount of chances of you feeling extremely physically drained. That is one of the things that will happen. And so the advice is drink a lot of water. I keep saying it, and that reminds me, I haven't had any water since I started this session. So 2 seconds. So keep yourself hydrated. Three things about water as well. You can drink normal room temperature water for most of the day, but however, if you have any infection from a cold to anything, drink really hot water, as hot as you can take it. Because what happens is that when you drink hot water, automatically your body temperature goes up, right? And when your body temperature goes up, your body intelligence automatically deals with the infection. So you're likely to have zero infections if you, you're basically sending, when you drink hot water, you're sending a message to your entire body saying that, listen, so heat has gone up, which means we need to take care of something. So you activate your natural body intelligence. The other thing to do is that there's going to be a lot of bloating. I have no clue why, but this is part of the earth changes that are occurring. And so there is a very core deep energy from the earth that is now pushing itself out. We spoke about, I've been speaking about the fact that the earth is kind of, I can't find words to say what, but you should understand by the expressions right now. So there is a lot of internal fumes that are coming out of the earth. So even when you're grounding, you will find that there is a lot of heat that is getting generated while you're grounding, for all those who do practice grounding. So, and the recommendation is, if you're practicing grounding, please ground your masculine energy this time. Usually what happens is we ground our feminine energy. What you need to ground this time around, especially new moon today and tomorrow, ground your masculine energy. The need to take action right now, ground that. Because need to feel emotion is going to happen by default. You have no choice in this. Correct? But ground your masculine to be able to kind of avoid taking any action from that emotional light space. Also understand that grounding the masculine will keep you from, in the future, in the next couple of weeks also, taking any action that is not good for you. Because right now with all the changes that are happening, from upar se, from niche se, matlab bahut changes hain. So you need to understand that you need to take care of yourself through this. And the best advice is that if everybody is telling you to go south, please go north. But don't demand that everybody goes with you. Just tell everybody that you're going towards the north. So if somebody looks for you, they know which direction you've gone in. However, do not, and I'm repeating this like I am honestly telling you, do not take responsibility for anyone else but yourself. Because each one of us is getting different instructions from heaven for earth. We need to just now kind of focus on letting those instructions A come to us and B live through us. A lot of people um, are destructive energy at this point because a lot of people don't understand tangible and intangible. So nobody understands that those of us who work in the intangible space understand how the tangible is kind of screwing up with the intangible, but there is no way we can correct. We cannot change your direction other than share what you shouldn't do or share what you should do. We cannot make you do that. Even the moon can't make you do anything. She doesn't want to actually. She prefers you just breathing. That also you all don't do properly, sadly. I don't know how many of you all actually practiced after we did the last Friday's video. I will share it after this though. Correct? So yeah, before I get into my as my feminine energy and the moon energy right now, to be very honest, at feminine energy level, there is a lot of inner healing that is occurring, and that inner healing means you can see through everybody, but you're not in that mood to tell people what to do. You're like, you want to go and jump, but jump properly. Get my point? Because I'm not responsible for you, and I realize that over the years I have very, very comfortably worked with a lot of people and their energies, and lifting up people's energies and helping them not to do the wrong thing. But I caused myself a lot of physical pain, and I didn't realize it till I think recently that I do that. So I can do a lot of good things, but the fact is that a lot of people take that for granted. By the way, which reminds me, I have started, for those people who know me for really long, should know that this should make them and should make me very happy. I have started taking one-on-one telephonic sessions on healing with love and gratitude. That is the first gift that I have been given by the angels to kind of help, because my understanding is that in another 2 months, the planet is going to require more people to have conversations and to help shift from the old paradigm, old method and methodology to the new method and methodology. So I do these 1-hour phone call sessions, and anybody who knows somebody who wants to have this conversation, especially people who are right now unable to see themselves in any situation in 2 months from now. But with that, let me know. You can write to me or you can ask here, and I will put you on to. There is Lynette Basenet who's not on this right now, but she takes all the appointments and she does all of that. So you'll need to speak with her. I will only be taking the session. So she decides who gets to have that session with me, and these are all 1-hour sessions. Because I don't want to get into that, because I can't say no to people. I'm addicted to healing. Okay. So before I finish this session, as promised, I am going to do my first tarot reading. And I'm wondering whether I should do it for somebody or just do a reading. I think I'm just going to do a reading. What do you say? Right? So this reading I'm going to do as a new moon reading with love from Archangel Michael to all of you through me, because he's been telling me to behave myself and get a lot of rest, and every time I lie down I have to remind him, like, dear Archangel Michael, please help me cut all connections, because I'm getting prayer requests from all over. And maybe that is one of the reasons why I ensure that I don't do the talking, Lynette does, because if Lynette doesn't do the talking, I'd be on the phone the whole day, and that's not very nice for me. So if any of you, so I'm going to just do a general card reading. If anybody of you wants a quick reading from Archangel Michael for you, ask a question in your head and then ask me, or you can put a saying you do want one. Yeah, but I'm going to do a 2-card reading, and this will be for today, tomorrow, and day after. So this is Archangel Michael sharing some hopefully happy new moon stuff with you guys. And in 2 minutes. You know, the idea, I remember, I've been doing tarot readings for very long, and I actually love them because there are certain times that once you open a card, you suddenly start talking, and it becomes like, oh my god, I didn't know I knew so much about this person or this thing, or and it's usually you read the other person's energy. So a lot of tarot card readers actually can read your energy. So please understand that your energies are very, very readable to people who can read. Correct? So here's the first card, and this is for the new moon message. He's just worrying me, not letting me take out a card. Yeah, he does that because I'm doing it for the first time. He wants me to be really, 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 really conscious. Masculine and energy and I are just two other things. Yeah, because I'm like, don't say anything mean to them. It's not nice. So here's the first card. And I think this is what he wants all of you to know. He's saying, make a commitment. Now, what the card says, so he's saying you don't need to read the card to tell people what I have to say, but what he wants you to do, or what he's asking you to do, and I think it's an answer to a lot of people's questions. You have to make a commitment to yourself. You have to have the courage right now to go through whatever is going to happen. So basically, in other words, Archangel Michael has this habit of being really nice but being that zoop kind of guy. So what he wants you to know is that you need to make a commitment. And he's asking me to tell you guys to kind of write it down somewhere. You need to make a commitment today. Right? Start right now. Write it down. Breathe with the word commitment. Forgive yourself right now for all the commitments you have made and not kept. Forgive yourself for the commitments you did not make but are pushed to keep. Those commitments that make you feel guilty. To understand that right now, as the world transitions from the old to the new, as the world transitions from masculine dominion to feminine dominion, you need to make a commitment to deal with things. No more pushing emotions under the carpet. No more pretending things will go away if you don't look at them. Masculine is temporary, a lot of things will go away, but what the truth is that every emotion that you're going to feel is going to stay with you. He's also asking me to share with you that when people die, it is not the fact that we miss them physically. When people die, we miss them emotionally because a lot of memories of them come up, and our entire internal body goes through trying to figure out what we could have done and what we did not do and what we should have done. So today with the full moon, he's kind of recommending that you make a commitment to take care of yourself physically, mentally, and most importantly, emotionally, because you're going to need it. He wants me to tell you, he says like the masculine is temporary, the feminine is permanent. That is one. Now that was for Friday, that is today. The next one he's going to give me is for Saturday, which is tomorrow, which is the 23rd. Love it. He's just trying to do 2 or 3 cards. So he says prayer will help this situation. So whatever situation that you are going through, he tells me that right now a lot of people across the world are praying for their financial security, physical security, their spiritual security, health-wise, work-wise. There's a lot of things that people are praying for right now. And what he is recommending is to pray more. What he's also suggesting is that when you pray, right, you do not need structured prayer. Prayer was never meant to be structured. Prayer is a conversation that you have. He's asking me to tell you that when we speak, it is a prayer. So speak And when you speak, know it is a prayer. When you speak with others, you are praying with others. When you speak to yourself, you're praying with God. Correct? But allow these conversations to happen. The other thing is that there's going to be a huge shift in communication that begins as of Sunday. Right? The way created energy, the way Earth is going to communicate with us, is going to be different from the way she's communicated till now. Till now, Earth is communicated to us through people. Now she's going to start communicating to us. So please take weather changes and any indications from the weather, any indications of how you feel when you step out of the house. Take that as your guidelines. How you feel is going to be more important. And so since you are going to go into a feeling space, which is intangible space, remember to pray. Yeah, and he says pray is not P-R-E-Y, it is P-R-A-Y. That sounds so much like me. He's been talking through me for quite some time now. Possible, I don't know. But he's fantastic energy. I kind of love him. And now this third one is for Sunday. And for Sunday, wow, he says, focus upon divine and perfect health. So I think people have been asking questions in their hearts about what will our health be like. So you have to understand that if your divine health is fine, that if in the intangible you are fine, in the tangible you are going to automatically be completely fine. If your intangible is shaken up, your tangible will directly be affected. This has more to do with the shift from masculine dominion to feminine dominion. Correct? This is because how you feel is how you physically become. Right? So the third card is focus on divine and perfect health. Yeah. So here with this, I'm going to kind of say that wow. So I'll remind you of the 3 cards that Michael has given us. Michael says make a commitment, Friday. Prayer will help this situation. That means whatever happens tomorrow, remember to kind of spend your day pray. And for Sunday, focus on divine and perfect health. So if you are spiritually feeling healthy, if you're feeling healthy, your physical body will automatically remain healthy. So ensure that you don't have any energy imps in your surrounding, whatever that means to each one of us. I hope that happens to you, for you. And before I leave, I'm going to kind of do my favorite thing, is activate